Now let's see this. In the following questions, relationship between different elements is shown in the statements. These statements are followed by two conclusions. Read the statements and select the appropriate answer. So now in all these questions, they are going to give you some statements like this. Some statements are given, and then two conclusions are given, conclusion 1 and conclusion 2. Now based on which one can follow from this, you are supposed to choose one of these, right? You have to say that the answer is 1 if only conclusion 1 follows, which means if this conclusion 1 only follows from this, then you have to say answer is 1. 2 is if conclusion 2 follows, which means if only conclusion 2 follows, then you have to say that answer is 2. If either conclusion 1 or conclusion 2 follows, which means if either this one or this one follows, then you can say the option is 3. If neither of them follows, then the option is 4. If both of them follows, which means if both 1 and 2 follow, then you have to say that it is 5, right? So depending on which conclusions follow, you have to choose one of these options, right? Let's see the questions one by one. Okay, now let's see this one. P is less than Q, less than or equal to S, equal to T, R equal to Q, less than U, V is greater than U. Now the first conclusion is P is greater than U. They are saying that P is greater than U from these statements. Now let's see the relationship between P and U here. Now if you observe it, U is here, right, and U is here, and P is here. So if you want to find out the relationship between P and U, it is better if you can take these two statements, right, this statement and this statement. Now from these two, what you get here is P and Q, are related by less than, right, which means here you can get that P is less than Q. Let me write it here. P is less than Q from this one, right, and here U and Q are related like this. Q is less than U, right? So now we know that P is less than Q and U is greater than Q. Therefore, what is the relationship between P and U? So definitely P is less than U, right? So if you see them in a kind of number line, so P is going to be less than Q, right, and Q is less than U. Now what can you say? P is less than U, but then here it is saying that P is greater than U, right? Therefore it is definitely not the one. Now let's see the second conclusion. Now let's see conclusion 2 here. So they are asking about the relationship between V and T. Let's try to derive the relation, if it is possible to derive the relationship between V and T here. Directly V and T are not present in any of these statements if you observe them, right? But then they are related somehow, right? So I mean you can try to derive it somehow. Now if you observe it here there is a relation between U and V, right? And here there is a relationship between Q and U, and here there is a relationship between Q and T, right? So I'm going to use this Q and T, and then here Q and U, and then U and V. Using these three, if I combine, I'll try to see if I could get the relationship between T and V, right? Now if you see this, what is the relationship between Q and T? Why am I interested in Q and T? Because finally I want to get T and V, right? But directly I'm not able to get it, and indirectly they are connected by Q. So here T and Q is there, here Q is there, right, and Q and U is there, and here U is there. That is why I'm picking only this. Now if you see the relationship between Q and T, now since S is equal to T, you can remove S and directly substitute T there. Therefore the relationship between Q and T is Q is less than or equal to T. This is what I can get. Got it? And the relationship between Q and U is Q is less than U, right? And what is the relationship between U and V? So U is less than V, right? Therefore U is less than V. Therefore what is the relationship between Q and V? Q is less than V, right? And now if you observe it, if you try to put them in a number line kind of thing, then Q is going to be here, then T and V are going to be here, but then the relationship between these two is not known. Why? Because it is known that Q is less than or equal to T and Q is less than V, but we don't know exactly the relationship between these two. This is one possibility, or this is other possibility, isn't it? Therefore, we are not able to derive any relationship between V and T here. So we failed to see that, see, this one has happened to be false. The reason is P is less than U, and this one is false because we are not able to draw any conclusion. Therefore, we are not able to draw any of these conclusions from these statements. So answer is 4. What is this? If neither conclusion 1 nor 2 follows. So the option is 4 for this, for question 1. Okay. Now let's look at the second statement. Second question. The statements are S is greater than U is greater than V, Y is less than U is less than Z, and Z is less than X greater than W. So these three statements are given and these two conclusions are given. Now the first conclusion is about relationship between S and Z. Right. Now if you see the relationship between S and Z, S is given here, Z is given here as well as here. Right. But then here there is a relationship between S and U. Here there is a relationship between U and Z. Let's try to use these two and try to get it. So here from this you will get that S is greater than U, and from here you can see that Z is greater than U, right? So both S and Z are greater than U, therefore you will not be able to say what is the relationship between S and Z. Now if you try to get this one, if you try to use this statement, there is no common point between this one and this one, this statement and this statement, therefore you cannot use it, right? So the relationship between S and Z cannot be concluded. We cannot say anything about it. So saying that S is less than Z is wrong. Alright. And the next one is X is greater than Y. So they are talking about X and Y. So X is here and Y is here. Therefore let's try to combine these two statements. And what is the common point we have here? So whenever you try to combine these two statements, you have to check the common point. Common point is Z. Right. Now Y is less than Z, and here Z is less than X, therefore definitely Y is less than X, which means X is greater than Y. It is true, right? So conclusion 2 is only thing that you could conclude, not the first one. Therefore the option is if only conclusion 2 follows. So it is 2, right? Only conclusion 2 follows, not 1. So you had to pick 2 there. Got it? Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities, but whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.